61% of Americans are wasting their life savings away. And if you're one of them, you might not even be aware of it. Welcome back to another episode of #Winning. Yuri, Elkaim, your CEO and founder of Healthpreneur. I was recently doing some research and kind of putting some stuff together for a workshop I was hosting and came across some really interesting stuff. So check this out. 61% of American adults are invested in the stock market. The average portfolio, the average holdings in a portfolio is more than $162,000. And the average rate of return over the past 100 years on a yearly basis in the stock market is 10%. So if I were to say to you, if you were to ask me a question, hey, Yuri, what's the return I can expect working with you? And if I told you 10%, you would be like, this is the biggest scam of all time, right? But if you invest, not you necessarily, but just millions of people are investing their life savings into companies they don't know, into businesses they have no control over, and they are settling, they're celebrating 10% returns. Why? Because it's safe. Yet these same individuals, not all of them, obviously there's exceptions, but when it comes to investing in one's business, everyone freaks out about, oh my God, where's the guaranteed return? What if it doesn't work out? Well, here's the reality. There is no better investment than yourself and your business. And if you don't realize that, then that tells me all I need to know about where you are in your business. So I'll quickly just highlight when I started my business, I was stupid and I got in my own way because I thought I could figure things out by myself. And that didn't happen. So for 3 years, I lived with poverty line income because I thought, hey, I was smart. No, I was dumb. I was naive. I didn't know what I didn't know. And the funny thing about beginners in business is they think they know all the answers. Well, the more you know, the slower you go. The more you think you know, the slower you go. I see this all the time with people that are relatively new in business. Oh, I've done that before. That didn't work. I have this, and you don't know anything. If you look at your bank account and your bank account doesn't have the money you want, then you're missing something. So in 2010, I invested in my first coach. And then over the next 14, 15 years now, I've invested more than $1.4 million in my own coaching and development because I realized I don't have all the answers. And I realized the more I invest, the more money I make. Why? Because I invest in myself. I invest in my skills. I invest in clarity around blind spots I might not be aware of. I invest in being around other people who are further ahead of me so I can look at what they know that I don't and start to look through a lens of, well, could that make sense in my business? And so when I look, now again, I have money invested in various index funds. And so you might say, okay, well, Yuri, why would you invest your money in that? Well, the reality is I've got a very small portion of my wealth invested in index funds. But if I look at my year-to-date performance over the past year, it's been just under 11%. But when I look at the amount of money that I have in my index funds, it actually is a very, very, very small percentage relative. I actually spend more, check this out, I spend more money on a monthly basis in meta ads than most of my portfolio on the index fund side of things. Okay. I have money in crypto, right? I don't even know my login to check my numbers. I don't even give a shit. Again, the money I have invested outside of my business, for the most part, pales in comparison to the amount of money that I reinvest in my business. And because of that, it's allowed our business to grow. What a lot of people don't understand is they're looking for safety outside of themselves. And this is the lie that we've all been sold, right? I was at my son's graduation. He graduated grade 8 last week. And there's about 92 people in the various classes. And before the ceremony, they had a screen where each student kind of wrote down a few things, like their best memory of the school, where they want to be in 10 years, etc. And 80% or more of the students, where they saw themselves in 10 years was graduating university with a good paying job. And I thought to myself, wow, that's really depressing. And I'm thinking to myself, where are these 14-year-olds getting this story that they're looking to live out? From their parents, from the system, from a society that is bred to stay broke. If you want common results, you can listen to common advice. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with investing in what you want to invest in. If I'm looking at the trajectory of where these students' lives are going, it's very interesting to me. In fact, my mom worked for Imperial Oil, so Exxon, big oil and gas company. And I learned a lot about why I did not want to work in corporates from her experience. She was telling me last week that when they merged with Texaco, way back in the day, She remembers being in the office, and she had a decent job. So she was doing corporate travel for like the chairman and stuff. So whatever. But she remembers being in the office and seeing the two companies come together. And then the managers literally just pull people into the office. And 5 seconds later, they were out of the office with their box of goodies. Like, thank you for 20 years of service. You're gone. And I look at this as like, wow, most people have no clue that they are literally hanging on the edge of being fired at any given moment. You see, like we've been led to believe that go to school, get good grades, go to college. Why? So you can get a good job, so that you can be in a position where you have no control over your future. And why I say this is because, listen, I'm the CEO of my company, and I have these conversations about certain team members that we have let go over the years. And I've said this before, like the best job security is being exceptional at what you do. And if you're not exceptional, don't be surprised when eventually you are let go. Hey, we'll get back to the video in just a second. But before we do, if you're an experienced health professional who's wanting to grow your business online and you want a better, faster way to do so, and you're liking what we're all about here at Healthpreneur, click the link in the description to see if you qualify for us to help you scale your business 10 times faster without the grind and without the guesswork. Click the link below in the description and let's get back to the video. Because you're seen more as a liability than an asset. And I hate to say that, but this is not just me. I'm talking about the biggest companies in the world. They're even worse. They don't look at you or anyone as a person. They look at you as a number. You're either adding value or taking away. You're an expense. So when I see this whole trajectory of like, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, so you have a safe, it's bullshit. You're literally like teetering. You're being a marionettes, right? And the boss or the company is just playing with you. And when you don't perform, you're gone. So all of this to say, the ultimate safety is investing in yourself. A lot of people think having your own business is risky. I completely disagree with that. I think it's risky to work for someone else to a certain extent where you have no control over your future, depending on the company, in which you're in. Obviously, we have people on our team that are phenomenal. They've been with us for years. And we've had other people on our team who have not been here forever, and we've let them go. And there's a reason for that. I'm not saying everyone has to be a business owner, but if you're watching this, you mostly are a business owner. And if you're a business owner and you're trying to live the life of an employee, it's not going to work out. So where do you invest your time? Where do you invest your money? It needs to constantly be pouring back into yourself, right? Building your skills, investing in support, investing in strategy, investing in mentorship, because until you do that, you're going to struggle big time. So our clients on average see a 314% return on investment in working with us. And if we juxtapose that with the 10% return that most people see in the stock market, it's just so funny that people are like, well, how do I know it's going to work? I need a guarantee on this. I'm like, dude, I'm not guaranteeing you anything. If you invested in the index fund or any kind of stock or any kind of company, they can't guarantee you anything. Yet you'll pour your money into a company that you have no control over and you don't even know who the CEO or the board of advisors is. That's risky. Risk is not in the investment, it's in the investor. And so if you are looking to invest in yourself or in any kind of business or whatever, it's not in the investment. It's in your lack of understanding of the investment, which means it's you as the investor who is the risk. So when people come to me, they're like, hey, Yuri, I need to know this is going to work. I'm like, fucking stay away from me, please. Okay, here's some mosquito repellent, mosquito repellent. I have a 20-year track record, okay? If you're coming to me and you don't have the solution to solving your problem, that means you have the track record of your problem. In no world am I going to bend over backwards to oh my God, this is no, you have to tell me on why this can work for you, because you're the risk of this not working out. If you constantly failed in other endeavors, why would I take you on as a client? I'm just being real, right? Is the risk on me or is the risk on you? You have to believe in yourself. And listen, I will bet on anyone who's willing to bet on themselves. But if you're not willing to bet on yourself, there's nothing I can do. And listen, to get where you want to go in life, you're going to have to invest your money and your time, period. Okay. There's no free lunches. There's no I'm going to build this for free. It doesn't work. Even if you think posting organically is free, it's not. It takes up all of your time. And eventually maybe you hire someone to help you and you're still paying. The difference is that successful people understand that money is cheap and time is expensive. So if you can time compress your journey by investing in the skills, systems, and support you currently don't have, do you think you would move faster? Probably. So I share this with you just as a thought experiment to really think about where am you investing your time and your money? And if they're not in congruence with what you say you want, then what you say you want is full of shit, period. Like if you say like working out, like being healthy is really important to you, and I look at your pantry and your grocery bill and like you're not investing in like a gym membership or a trainer or a coach, then what you're telling me is complete fables. How you spend your time and your money is a direct reflection of what you value most. So for people that say, I want to grow a great business, I want to have all these, whatever, if your time and money is not spent in that direction, please stop talking about these goals because they don't mean anything to you. If they did, you would invest your time and your money 100% in the pursuit of this. Period. End of story. Can you scale your coaching business without doing sales calls? Well, I was having a conversation yesterday with an entrepreneur who was asking me that question. He's doing fairly well, about $500,000 a year, wants to scale to 2 or 3 million. And the way I think of this, again, in the context of a coaching business where you're selling a higher ticket coaching program, right?